Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to my channel. This is Miss Tara D. And if you're new to my channel, please remember to like and subscribe, okay? So today we're doing something very special. Today we are making smudge spray, okay? So many people use smudge sticks to cleanse their house, especially during the New Year's or when there's illnesses or things like that, to drive away negativity and harmful spirits. Miss Tara D, although I love these incense and resins, sometimes in my little apartment, the smoke is too much and it bothers me. So I came up with my own smudge spray, okay? Yes, you can buy these online, but I prefer to make my own. It's just more fun, and you add your own personal intentions to it. So, before we start, this is the recipe that I created for myself, and I broke it down for if you want to make just a simple 4-ounce water bottle, or if you want to do half a gallon or a whole gallon, okay? This is about a gallon, this is about half a gallon, so might not all fit in here, but that's okay. And you can get this recipe only if you watch this video to the very end, and then you'll see it. If you don't watch it and if the video the whole way through, and if you don't subscribe and like, it'll disappear because it's magic, okay? So you gotta do those things. Like, subscribe, and comment, and watch it for the whole time. Excuse me. Okay. So, before we begin, okay, we have to physically and spiritually clean our workspace, okay? So this is some smudge spray that I made before, and I'm going to spray it, okay? And I'm going to invite the ancestors, my spirit guides, my divinity, and ask that you eliminate any negativity, any spirits that might cause harm. I invite only positivity. I invite you to work with me today to create the smudge spray so that it can also be used in ritual and magic. Ashe. Thank you. Okay, so step 2, invite your higher power, spirit guides, and ancestors. By the way, I want to show you something. These 2 baskets. So my grandfather was the basket weaver in his town, and these were the last 2 baskets he made by hand before he passed away. And my grandmother gave them to me because she says that he always wanted me to have them. So when I use them, I feel connected to my grandfather and to my spirit guides and definitely my ancestors. Some of you might want to use photos, or you might have a teacup from one of your grandmothers, or a tarot deck, or just something that connects you with the past. So, it's always good to have them with you, especially when you're preparing ritual or you're creating recipe or magic, okay? Focus your intentions. Since this is a smudge spray, set your intentions on banishing negative energies, harmful intentions, hexes, and harm cast upon you. So today we're going to be using moon water, okay? This moon water has been on my windowsill since February of this year, and every day I go and I lay hands and I cast my intentions, so that this way when I use it in ritual and in recipe and magic, it's ready, okay? So now we're going to put that aside. So we did that. We're going to add our essential oils of choice to your mixing container. Since this is spell work, you should try to use a mixing container that only for magical purposes. So I'm using this one. This is what I use. sometimes I even have a bigger one because sometimes I like to make a little bit, but more often I like to make it in volume because then I like to send it to my friends, especially prior to the new year or to the solstice, so that they can cleanse and smudge their homes with it. And by the way, this is a very good pairing with black salt. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to make black salt in another video. Okay, so we have our container, and then we're going to add our essential oils, and you can use whatever essential oils you choose. However, you should always try to use sage because sage is commonly used in smudges, especially because it's a protector. It repels negativity and harmful entities. So try to use, if you don't like sage, at least use a little bit. I don't like to use dry sage in my smudge spray simply because it gets stuck in the pump, okay? So sage, I'm going to add a little lavender because it smells so good, has a base. Eucalyptus, we're going to use a little eucalyptus, and peppermint, just because I just love the smell of peppermint. It just also brings clarity of mind, okay, awareness, conscious awareness, and it just opens your senses up to the universe. Okay, then we're going to use, I don't want to use that one, a little jasmine, just a little bit, okay, because I love the smell of jasmine. Here I have rose, but I don't want to use rose for this. I use rose for a different recipe that I have. And lily of the valley, I normally don't use this, but when I'm finished with this video, I'm going to make a separate smudge spray for my friend Hershey, the shadow reader, because she's allergic to a lot of essential oils. So she asked for a special smudge made lily of the valley and eucalyptus. So I'm going to make her own little side thing. Okay. All right. And most important, so some people like to put a little million salt for purity. I really don't use it. I actually have this here because I'm doing a different. What I do use is I do put a crystal, a little crystal, but I put these in the bottle. So if you hear it, you can actually hear the crystal in this bottle, and that's for clarity, okay, and protection. And of course, a little trick that I learned is to put a small amount of witch hazel in your elixir because it helps to combine the oils into the water. Okay, so this way they're not always rising to the top, so it helps to integrate them. All right, so let me see here. Did I forget anything? So I'm doing that. So about a half a cup of witch hazel. So I'm going to eye that just because I've done this so often. I'm doing the half-gallon one. The half-gallon will give you 16 of this little bottles. Okay. Now, normally I like to put them in glass bottles. Okay. But because I mailed these out to my friends, I put them in plastic so that they don't break. It really doesn't do anything to the smudge spray, doesn't ruin it or anything. I just like, you know, I love glass. I just love glass. And I actually save a lot of these, by the way, just so I could put different things in them. And you could buy these kind of bottles on Temu, Amazon. They're great. Okay, so let's first start by putting our essential oils. So let me see. Sage, it's about 10 drops. Okay. Oh, let me see here. Let me take this off then. Oh, that's part of it. I thought it was one of the stoppers, but it's actually not. Okay. So about 10. I'm going to eye it. There, that should be about 10. And don't worry if it's a little more or less, okay? And then I want to put a little bit of lavender, also about, so this is about 10 to 16. Let me just see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Ah, not bad. Very good. Then what do we have here? Eucalyptus. All of these oils are the same measurement. So we want to do 16 drops, okay? So I'm going to, once again, I'm just going to eyeball it. It's not a big deal. Like any cooking recipe, you know, if you follow it to exact, it never tastes just right. It's better when you trust your own intuition, you know, and you cook from the heart. That's the important thing, right? All of us cooks, we know you got to do from the heart. There's a wonderful YouTuber who, she's an amazing cook and baker. She's in Canada, Spiritual Rain. You have to follow her channel. And she's a very intuitive person. And a lot of she makes cheeses by hand. Who makes cheeses these days? And all kind of things. So and when you watch her, you see a lot of it is from the heart. Okay, so let's put a little, there we go. That should be about 16. Okay, the house is already smelling wonderful. Jasmine, we were going to put. There we go, little jasmine. And then, oh, our peppermint. This one has a stopper, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, so that's about equal amount to what we were already eyeballing. By the way, if you like one fragrance more than the other, feel free to add a little extra of that fragrance. And what do we say? Oh, Lily of the Valley. Okay, we're going to put a little Lily of the Valley. Why not? There you go. Okay. Smells delicious. Okay, then, all right, so we add our essential oils of choice, and then we're going to mix it up a little bit. Now, I'm going to use my wooden spoon simply because I had a wood whisker and I don't know where it is. I couldn't find it. And I really don't like using metal in my recipes, okay? Especially magic recipes. I feel it taints them in some way. So I'm not going to use this. I'm just going to use my wooden spoon. I'm going to use the handle, and I'm going to just mix it all up. Oh, you know what's also, I should have thought of it, but it wouldn't reach. Chopsticks. Oh, I could have gotten a chopstick to do that. That would have been perfect. Okay. Oh yeah, this is wonderful. Okay, it's all mixed. I wish I could, let me see if I could show you at least. See how it's all kind of bubbly and mixed? All the oils are mixing. Perfect. I'm not going to put the crystal in now. I'm going to put the crystals in the actual bottle, so when I fill them, all of them will be there, okay? And I'll make it easier to pour. Now, we're going to add our witch hazel. Okay, let's see. About half a cup, we said. Okay, so I'm looking, and this to me looks like about half a cup, right? I'm eyeballing it. Yeah, I'm going to put it about up to there. Okay. Sorry, I thought I had this ready. Okay, there we go. That's not bad. So let me see here. A little bit more. I'm just perfect. Okay, so that was about half a cup. And once again, we're going to mix it up. And the witch hazel helps the moon water and the essential oils to combine. Okay, now you still might get some of the oils that float to the top, you know, after a while, but then you just shake it up. Okay, I shake it up anyway, it's not a big deal. And also too, you have that crystal that helps. Okay, so now let's take a moment to just lay hands, and we continue to ask our ancestors, spirit guides, and angels, and divine divinity to work with us in making this smudge spray to eliminate negativity and bring upon positivity and messages from the universe. Okay? It's always good. Stop, smell the roses. Okay? This is a McDonald's. We don't rush to do things and get them done. This is ritual. And even though I'm talking to you and this feels like an instructional video, it's still ritual. And you should really respect it and consecrate it, okay? Because this is going to go to people to use. I also believe in the breath of life, right? So take a deep breath and inhale into it with your breath of life. Give it power, give it energy, because remember the power is within you. So breathe into it to give it power and energy, okay? All right, let's put in our moon water. Okay. Look. Okay. And I'm going to try to, there, that's a good amount there. All right, so I would say this is about half a gallon, a little less than half a gallon, which is fine. The measurements that I was using were for half a gallon. So we're good, right? And now we're going to shake it all up. We're going to stir it, I should say. Okay. There you go. Okay, just let it stir. Just let it sit for a moment. Okay. And excuse me, I forgot something. Ugh. There we go. This is my little funnel that I use. And let me just see. Okay. So I'm going to put my crystal in there. Okay. And then I'm going to use my funnel. And then I'm going to just fill this up. Once again, this is about a 4-ounce bottle. Okay. There you go. And I'm going to cap it. Just, there you go. All right. There you go. And, you know, this is a bottle. This is an old essence oil bottle, but I just love it. And you can make, if you want, you could just use these just to store it for yourself. And then when you need them, you open them. Or you can buy the bottles, the glass bottles that have the spray, and fill those all up. And after this film, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to get the plastic bottles that I ordered like this, and I'm going to fill them with our smudge spray so that I can send this out to my friends. Now, this recipe calls for about 16 bottles. So this is going to make 16 smudge spray 4-ounce bottles. This is a 4-ouncer. If you want to make a smaller one, if you're going to make this a giveaway and you want to make the smaller bottles, this recipe, it's 16 bottles, so it's what, 32? If 32 2-ounce bottles, right? Everybody do the math. And like I said, if you don't know how to do the math, I have it here just for you, okay? But remember, you have to watch the video to the end, like and subscribe, or else it's magical. It'll disappear. It'll disappear. Okay, let me see. Did I forget anything? No, I didn't. I'm just going to put everything into the bottles. I'm going to do that off camera. And I just want to thank you all for sharing this space with me and coming into my kitchen. I love working in my kitchen. It's filled with magic and love. And look for my other videos. I have a video. I also made Florida water. Yes. So look for the video on Florida water. I'm going to show you. It's been here and sitting here, marinating. And that's going to be there for a couple of weeks until it's ready. So look for the video on that. All right, my dear friends, thank you so much for spending this time with me, for sending your positive intentions during ritual. And I appreciate you, and take care. Blessings and light to all.